Thank you. I'm sorry. I call to order the GCC regular board meeting, May 21st, 2024 at 4:45 p.m. Welcome. Roll call. Mr. Mark Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Harry Brock?
Here.
Mr. Bruce Mandrick?
Here.
Mr. Jack Turner?
Absent.
Lily Campbell, present. 4 board members present and accounted for, so we have a quorum. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's so good. Let me take off these glasses so I can see you. It is so good to see so many of you here tonight. We really appreciate your being here. We welcome you, and we're looking forward to the meeting. We have some great things going to happen tonight, so we're looking forward to it. And to those of you who are watching us virtually, welcome. And we're glad you're with us tonight also. So with that, we will start in with our regular board meeting. Do we have public comments?
No public comments tonight.
No public comments tonight, thank you. And so with that, we will move to the superintendent's update, so he will share with us what has been going on since the last time we met. So, Superintendent, you are on.
All right, thank you, Madam President. Good evening, President Campbell, members of the board, and to everyone that's here. I want to first I'll start by welcoming you to our board meeting. I will tell you my report won't be as long tonight since we just had our meeting 2 weeks ago. But I want to first kick off by announcing and celebrating Classified Staff Appreciation Week. So if we have any classified staff in the room, just raise your hand so we can just clap and appreciate you. As you remember, at our last board meeting, we recognized and appreciated our certificated staff. So again, I would like to personally, on behalf of myself and the board, thank each of you for what you do tirelessly every day to support our students. We also celebrated last week National Charter Schools Week, which was May 12th through the 18th. And this was a time across the nation that we had the opportunity to highlight the good work that's happening in charter schools across the U.S. Additionally, May 18th marked National School Speech Pathologist Day. Had to say that really slow and well articulated. And I want to express our deep appreciation for our speech pathologists. Their essential work in helping our students improve their skills is highly appreciated, and so I just want to say that. On May 9th, I had the opportunity to be interviewed on the Afisha radio program. I want to thank Director Terakov and our community engagement specialist, Paulina, for allowing me to come on, and they translated for me and helped me through everything there. But this was an opportunity for me to discuss kind of the first year as superintendent and the work that collectively we all have accomplished as a GCC. And so very proud of that work that has happened. On May the 11th, we hosted, and I think it's somewhere in one of those pictures in the middle, we hosted our inaugural. Now, I say the word inaugural because, you know, I could say we hosted an Innovators Fair, but if I use the term inaugural, it means that it will be back. Hint, hint. But we hosted our inaugural Innovators Fair at the California Aerospace Museum, and I am thrilled to report that it was a tremendous success with nearly 1,000 attendees and so many happy families. And I mean, the children had fun, the adults had fun. I even saw some senior citizens having fun. Yes. This has really become our most well-attended family event to date in GCC history. And so I would like to affirm Dr. Heather Gold and Adrian Peer and Kimberly Hefferon from our professional learning department, really for coordinating this remarkable event, as well as I want to thank Madam President. You were there, and
yeah, I was there.
You saw the Superintendent's Advisory Council giving a panel. So again, to Dr. Gold and her team, great job having a very successful event. On May 13th, we also have the privilege of celebrating campus principal Angie Praxayavong Briones at the Association of California School Administrators, ACSA, Administrator of the Year Awards Gala. And Angie was honored with the ACSA Region 3 Silver Star Award. And so again, we have the opportunity, along with a number of cabinet members and President Campbell, to be there celebrating with Angie on this great accomplishment. 'Tis the season for budgets, and so myself, as well as our CBO, Omira, Raina, and Chief Communications and Strategy Officer, Mr. Taylor, and other members of Cabinet, we have all been attending various May Revise webinars, workshops, in-persons, and still more to come. And so at a future meeting, CBO Omira, Raina will be updating the board on kind of what the governor is saying in terms of the May Revise. I will let you know that, to use a term from Mike Fine, there seems to be a few, what he called budget gimmicks to get us to where we are in an election year. So again, we will keep the board updated on what the budget outlook and development is. I had the opportunity to attend the Charter Schools Development Center, CSDC, with Eric Premack, School Services, which is kind of the premier May revision workshop, as well as we had one that was at, I believe, SCOE, and Executive Director Elliott and others attended that. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend the El Dorado Charter SELPA CEO Council meeting, and again, received an update on where things are with our special ed programs, funding, and having the opportunity to kind of be an important key voice about the needs of charter schools with our SELPA, and the needs particularly of GCC was very important. Finally, we had our end of the year celebration on this past Friday. It was I think a fun, fantastic, I almost feel like we're going to have a mascot run through the middle of the board meeting here in a few minutes, but...
She's sitting there.
Oh, she's sitting, okay. But really, it was a great time to bring all of our staff across. We recognized our certificated and classified staff of the year. I want to say congratulations to all of our winners. I also would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation and affirmation to Melissa DeMarco, who really does a great job of coordinating all of the little logistics of such a massive event, as well as Lydia and every staff member that was involved in making this celebration truly extraordinary. Additionally, I want to thank our board members, President Campbell, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Block for their attendance and support, and I'm quite sure during their board comments they will share with you a little bit more. Finally, I want to just report to the board the Superintendent Student Advisory Council kind of outcomes. On May 9th, we held our last meeting of the year with the Superintendent's Advisory Council to evaluate our performance this year. We conducted a survey, and the students reported that the meetings effectively addressed their concerns, and all of them expressed a desire to return next year. And I had said, no, one and done. However, I believe the board president outranked me.
And she said, we certainly will be looking at that.
Yes, and the students quickly said, we love Ms. Campbell. And I'm like, really? So we are currently exploring ways to welcome them back while also welcoming new students. Next year, we will focus on ensuring that students are well-equipped to share the outcomes of our meetings with their peers. So again, we want to, as we continue to level up, we want to level up those students. And I will let you know, could not be more proud of that group of students who really, I think over the course of the school year really became close to them, but also came to value their voice. And so that's something that I just want to share with you. Also want to affirm I call my partner in crime on this, and that is our communication specialist, Julia Jimenez Yamamoto, who really helped a lot throughout the course of the year corral the students. So thank you, Julia, for your work. And board, that is my presentation or my report tonight. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, and I am going to take the privilege of saying I really did enjoy meeting the student councils. They are just wonderful students, and to the principals and teachers who might be here, staff, They are a great group of young people, and I was privileged to have spent a few days with them at the museum and also in the recognition luncheon. So please take my comments back to them, back to the students, and let them know how much Mrs. Campbell appreciates them also. Thank you. Board members, comments? Any questions to the superintendent? Thank you, Superintendent. You have been very busy, and a lot of the times I was with you, so we were busy together. And there's so many things that have happened and so many great things that are going on in this organization. And I can't thank you enough, all of you, Cabinet. I didn't say welcome to Cabinet, but welcome and thank you for the hard work that you do to make all of this possible, because the superintendent could not do it by himself.
Absolutely.
He has to have all of you people working with him, from the recognition of the lunch and everything. I could sit here and talk for the next hour, but I guess I won't. Okay, I'm going to stop. We shall now move into our board meeting. All right, we're at the study session. And the first thing on the agenda for study session is the student recognition Futures High School boys volleyball. Look like we've been recognizing Futures High School for some time, either the basketball or the volleyball or whatever. So welcome, young man, welcome. We're so glad you're here with us.
So, thank you, Madam President. Tonight we want to recognize our Futures boys volleyball team. They had an outstanding season. I'm going to ask Coach Sam to come on up here to the podium, as well as the principal, just to feel free to share a little bit of the highlights from their season. But they remain undefeated in the league, earned the first seed in the playoffs, and won the Division IV CIF Sac Joaquin Section Championship. They secured, They secured a spot in the NorCal State playoffs and advanced to the state championship. They didn't come out on top of the state playoffs, but hey, I couldn't be more proud, and I know we couldn't be more proud of the work that they did, winning another section championship. So I feel like we're going to get another banner hanging in the gymnasium. Is that correct?
Oh,
there it is.
Look at that.
There it is. So.
All right.
We are really extremely proud of their dedication, and tonight we want to take the opportunity to recognize them. I believe they also had something to fill their bellies earlier, if I'm correct, in the form of pizza. So hopefully you enjoyed that as a token of our appreciation from the board and myself to the team. So any highlights either one of you want to share?
I'll go ahead and start. Just in case, my name is Samuel Yoon. I'm the head coach for the Boys Futures volleyball team. And I just want to thank you guys for this opportunity to come and recognize us and bring us here. And just once again, just thank you for the pizza. I mean, it meant a lot for me and my boys. And so just a couple of highlights. Obviously, the biggest one was winning the section championship. But I just want to really highlight just how strong my team is. We all know that Futures is a really, really small school composed of around 400 students, meaning that our division will be really higher, so that means less competition. So our league is Division 7. But just to highlight how strong my team is, during the regular seasons, we've had 3 tournaments, where all 3 tournaments have been against Division 1 and Division 2 teams, where schools have had about 2,000 plus members at those schools. So obviously, the pool of choosing student athletes is way bigger than ours. So, they're supposed to be better. But I just want to say that our first tournament was in Folsom. It had a lot of Division 1 and Division 2 teams. We were able to come out getting 3rd place in the gold bracket, despite having 2 of our starters being injured. Yet they still continued to fight. They had grit, and they got us 3rd place for that tournament, so that was awesome. The second tournament, we were able to beat a really good Division 1 school. It's called Pleasant Grove. They later went on to go win the Section 1 section championships. So the fact that we beat them, technically means that we are also Division 1 section champions. No, just kidding. Oh, no, kudos to them. And then our 3rd tournament was probably one of the biggest tournaments. It was held by Granite Bay. We didn't really make it that far, but we still got into gold bracket when no one probably thought that we would ever make it there. Just once again, considering the size of our school and just seeing like Futures High School coming out and saying like, whoa, who are Futures High School, you know? Because everyone's used to all the Division I and Division II teams. So I just want to just thank my boys for all their hard work, our hard effort, the motivation to just really compete against the best. And yeah, I'm definitely proud of them. I couldn't have been a prouder coach. And I definitely think that this is going to be one of the best seasons I'll ever have coaching at Futures High School. So kudos to them.
So I have to ask, did you guys play Western Sierra or did you beat them?
Oh yeah, we played Western Sierra and we beat them. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I just want to be able to reach out to one of my charter colleagues to say, once again, Futures has beat Brockton Academy School. All right, so we want to take a picture with the students and the board, if they will come on, join us up here. Now, some of you I remember from soccer. You will get those out to the students later on. You guys are going to make 2 rows here now.
Tall ones in the back.
Shorter guys in the front, taller guys in the back.
Tall guys in the back.
I'll be heading to the back.
Tall guys. I get it.
I'll be heading to the back.
We're the short
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you again for coming.
And that is our recognition.
All right, I think we're clear with the room. And now we're moving to our Higher Learning Academy HLA Annual School Report. Thank you so much.
So, Madam
Thank
President,
you.
I'd like
Yes.
Partners wanted to show their appreciation for you, and who doesn't love a good authentic writing assignment in the kindergarten classroom if you get that to teach.
Oh, this is cute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everything you do.
That's cute. Thank you.
get your microphone.
All right. And I'm good with this? All right. Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you, President Campbell. Thank you, board members, Superintendent Sample. It's an honor to be here, as always, to talk about the wonderful things going on at HLA. I will try to keep it under 10 minutes, a year's worth of amazing things. I'm squishing it into 10 minutes, so hopefully I'm not talking too fast. All right, we are very proud to be doing everything we're doing this year through the Portrait of a GCC graduate. First and foremost, we're so proud of our IB authorization. We know you heard about it in the fall, but we can't say enough about what a big step that was to get our PYP program authorized and become an international baccalaureate world school. We've made great progress on putting in place multi-tiered systems of support, identifying essential standards, putting in place Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. We have been trained on PBIS, positive behavior interventions and supports. At the Tier 1 level, we're starting to roll that out with a full Tier 1 rollout in the fall as we continue to get trained on Tier 2 and Tier 3 PBIS. We exited ATSI, additional targeted support and improvement. We were able to exit that this year, and I'll show you on the next slide some data as to why. And can't say enough about our Scoot partnership. We have been operating all year with between 5 and 6 teacher vacancies. So not just teachers calling in sick for the day, vacancies, teaching positions that we've been unable to fill for a year now or over a year. So having those long-term subs in place is huge. Some of those are our people, sometimes those are Scoot people, and they've been sending us just wonderful, amazing people. So we really appreciate that partnership. All right, so digging deeper into the academic data and exiting ATSI, the specific data that allowed us to exit ATSI this year was that our ELA CASP scores increased in these specific subgroups: African American, socioeconomically disadvantaged, and white. On the math side of it, we had an 11.7 increase in terms of our number in distance from standard, so school-wide average. And then we decreased our chronic absenteeism by 13.4%. We continue to, actually I'm just going to kind of breeze over that. I want to point to the picture there is some 5th graders practicing their research and communication skills. They're presenting their biography projects to some younger scholars in a classroom. Going into our data, sorry, my little transitions didn't transfer over, but I was going to show you kind of one bar at a time. But if you look at the top bar, that's our reading at the beginning of the year. And second bar is reading now at the end of the year. End of the year, iReady statistics are what I had by today, which was about 90% of students done with that final iReady diagnostic. And so for reading, we've moved 66 students into the proficient range, into those green ranges of being either on or above grade level. On the math side, so now we're down to the third bar. That's our math at the beginning of the year. And then the very bottom bar would be our math at the end of the year currently. And we increased the number of students in that proficient range by 69 students. Again, that's with about 90% done, so we should even have a handful, hopefully a handful more than that as the last few finish up their assessments this week. All right, we continue to build leadership capacity across HLA. I'm very excited and grateful to have our MYP instructional coach, Mr. Bugazi, coming into that role this year. He's done a phenomenal job, and when we are celebrating our MYP authorization in the future, he's going to be the one to thank for that. I want to point to CKH2. All of our staff had an opportunity to go to a CKH2 training before the school year started. So every single one of those staff members walked away with a traction plan, and that's been something that we bring to meetings, talk about in meetings, so everybody is aware of their constraints and growing their leadership capabilities. And then I also want to highlight paras growing into subs. I have several paras who are getting their sub credentials. I've got one that I'm in the process of hiring on as a teacher, so she's gone from para to sub to long-term sub, and she's just graduated actually and is going to be becoming a credentialed teacher very soon. All right, in terms of our equity work and supporting our special populations, we've got a lot of great things going on. One I want to point to is our great team of intervention paraeducators that support us with that MTSS work every day. Marcel is pictured there, who you may know. He's one of our great intervention paras that's working with students every day. And then I wanted to give you a data point. This is our SPED data. So we were able to move out of from our special education population. 3 of our students were able to move into that proficient range in reading from the beginning of the year as compared to currently at the end of the year. In terms of our well-being and our SEL supports for staff and students, we continue to offer mindfulness and yoga for all of our scholars. And that's something that we encourage and provide for staff as well. So for staff, it looks a little different. At a staff meeting, we'll set aside 5 minutes. Usually our yoga teacher, Mr. Christian, who you guys know, will lead it, but sometimes it's led by other staff members. And we'll take 3 to 5 minutes to just do some mindful activities, things like that, things to get us ready in the right headspace for learning, but also things that our teachers get to see, experience, that our teachers can bring back to classroom to kind of use with their own scholars, right? And then our IB Learner Profile Awards, that's something that's great for students and staff as well. So our teachers recognize our students in terms of what IB Learner Profile traits they're exhibiting. But I get to pick a few staff members each month and get to recognize them in front of all the students, which of course everybody gets very excited about. And so that's a great support for our staff as well. In terms of our program offerings, I know you've heard a lot about expanded learning. We have that, long day. We go till 6 o'clock, and provide that service for families, but also the 30 non-instructional days across the summer as well, right? And that is just chocked with a lot of great enrichment opportunities. I couldn't possibly name them all, but just to name a few: theater, choir, drumming, obviously sports. Our students just get a ton of really cool opportunities through these programs. And then I want to highlight field trips as well. We are, fully back to taking field trips post-COVID, and we've got some great ones. 8th graders are going to Six Flags on Friday to study motion and gravity. And then, yes, to study motion and gravity. I don't know why anybody's laughing at that. But our kindergartners take a really cool one, too, to Bishop's Pumpkin Patch, and they do a whole program where they talk about the hamburger and where do all these ingredients come from. So the lettuce, it's grown right here. The tomatoes, they're grown right here. The beef, where does that come from? Let's go see the cows and the cattle. And so that's a really great experience for them. In terms of our engagement, you probably know that we've got some great volunteers across our campus, some award-winning volunteers, actually. You guys got to recognize Miss Anita Turley not too long ago for her great award. Miss Debbie is another volunteer who was recently acknowledged by the state legislature, actually. They gave her a certificate of acknowledgement for her volunteer work. We're also working with Sacramento Valley College Corps, affirmation to Dr. Gold for connecting us with that organization. They were able to place a volunteer with us this year, and we're going to continue to partner with them moving forward. I also want to talk about our RDP, Parent Faculty Organization. They are an amazing organization that Miss Anita is a big part of. They're actually donating laptops to graduating 8th and 12th graders from Futures as well this year. And then I mentioned it before, but the decrease in chronic absenteeism is one of the data points that got us out of ATSI. We were able to make a big jump down. We only have preliminary data, but we're looking at another good decrease in our chronic absenteeism numbers for this year. And we've been working really hard. Affirmation to my vice principal, Mr. Munch, who's been following up with families, holding families accountable. Dr. Crawford here at GCC has been a big support with that process as well. And then, of course, there's the carrot side of it, too, at school, right? We want them to be excited about school, and that's CKH, right? When you've got a relationship with multiple staff members on campus, you want to be at school. When you're going on great field trips, you want to be at school. So we're trying to, entice and encourage kids with those pieces as well, and we're recognizing scholars at the assemblies for, perfect attendance for the month. All right, in terms of looking to the future, we are very excited about the future. We are restructuring our leadership team. So Mrs. Kaur is going to be moving from instructional coach to VP. So we will have a VP for the PYP and for the MYP, which is similar to what other IB schools are doing within the GCC. And charter reauthorization will be a big one in the fall. We'll be going up in front of Twin Rivers, and again, bragging about all the great things we're doing and getting our reauthorization. So I believe that is it for me, and I'd be happy to field any questions that you might have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
just wanted to ask you about parent engagement. So where do you feel the school is at as far as you reaching out to parents and having them engaged in things that are going on with not only with the students, but the school itself?
Yeah. Great question. There's definitely been some wins this year, and we've built a lot of great relationships. Still a work in progress in terms of getting parent participation in school site council, in DLAC. That's something that's still a challenge. But I think we're building a lot of great relationships through some of our events. So we are inviting families out to celebrate their culture at multicultural nights and things like that. And I think through those events, we're building more relationships, getting to know families on a deeper level, and they're getting more comfortable, being invited in, hopefully to support with some of those other pieces, right, like school site council.
Yes, this is
That's what I'm hearing.
the chronic absenteeism.
Yeah.
Mr. Munn, what are you doing to address that since he brought you into it?
So we're kind of doing a two-pronged approach, really making sure that at the school site, right, the teachers are prepared, kind of trying to get that year-long plan so they can really get the students hyped for each and every kind of week of school. Like, hey, next week we're doing Reader's Theater. You got to be here for all this fun stuff. And then on the opposite end of that, me and Miss Pam, and then kind of my whole kind of the office team supports. We're calling parents. We're making sure that we're talking to them often about the importance of school, even the importance of missing 15 minutes of school. We're sending letters home, and then after 2 letters, I'm actually calling families in. We're talking about what are some of the barriers to them, to their students not showing up, kind of setting up contracts and further holding them accountable.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment too, Danny. I was very impressed with the Makers Fair. Students were very engaged. Appreciate the organization that was done to put those projects together and to present them, and the kids did a great job.
They did, and thank you for coming. We always enjoy having you there. Affirmation to Miss Rector, our second grade teacher, who does pretty much all the legwork to kind of get that going. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, restructuring your leadership team, what does that look like?
The instructional leadership team? Yeah, so that is our lead teachers, a group of 4 teachers, plus our instructional coaches and administrators. And they support, they each have a grade level that they support. So experienced veteran teachers that can take that new teacher under their wing and give them pointers, model instructional strategies for them, invite them into their own classroom and say, here, watch me teach a lesson, watch how I handle this behavior, that kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I have a few. First of all, I was really glad to hear the information about the scoop people
Yeah.
and the teachers, because I've wondered if they were really making a big difference and if they were really helping our program. So obviously, they work for you at your school.
They absolutely do. I mean, I can't say enough of how stressful it is going into a day knowing you're going to be short-staffed, and what a difference it makes to know, okay, I'm going to have my scoop people here. I might have to move a couple pieces, but we're going to be okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's huge.
The board needed to hear that. I needed to hear it. I was going to talk about the absentee. You had 13.4 decrease of absent, and you answered that question, so thank you for that, because I wanted to know what changed and what really happened to make the increase that way. And we talk about this at board meeting, I do with the superintendent, the pairs moving to teachers, getting their credentials and what have you.
Yeah.
So we really want to continue to encourage that to happen at all of the schools, not just at HLA,
Yeah.
but all of the schools.
Yeah,
One
now-
of the-
Sorry, to jump in, affirmation to Laura Berrigan, our HR department, when someone needs a credential, is going through that process. I try not to get involved. I send them to HR, but I tell them, hey, they want to help, right? They will literally walk them through the forms, literally take applications down in person to CTC to make sure things don't get lost in the mail. So I really appreciate that support.
Yeah, and we appreciate it too, and we really encourage all of the principals to do likewise.
Yeah.
To encourage parents to move up. One other question, and last one. Do you think that the long day, you mentioned, the after-school programs, the long day that you have and the kind of activities that are involved in it, do you think it really helps with the educational piece of it?
Yeah, great question. I think it does. And the reason is because our after-school director, Miss Megan Meredith, she's really intentional about the schedule that she builds for her paras and the scholars that she serves. And they make sure they get time to do homework, which is important. If my kiddo were at school till 6, I'd hope that they're not coming home with more homework to do, right? But also enrichment activities, learning experiences that are really going to be engaging for students. So, she's big on things like cooking clubs and getting the math integrated into the cooking clubs. Things like that where kids are learning, still working their minds, but hopefully it doesn't feel like, oh man, more school, it's 5 o'clock, right? Yeah.
Okay, well, we really appreciate it. I think we need to recognize those that are here with you.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yes. Would you
People
please
from
stand?
HR.
Well, just so we can applaud you and thank you. Because he couldn't do it by himself. You hear me
could
say
not.
that frequently.
I could not. They're an
He is a
amazing team.
principal, but without you guys working with him and working with the organization at school, none of this that he just talked about would be possible. So thank you. Thank each of you for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love of the students. Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you. Yes.
I just want to say one thing. This is a better place than being over at Clover.
Yes. Yeah, that's not a very high bar, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm like Director Block. Don't bring that up. We used to sit in little meetings in that little room, burning up and stuff. I was with it. Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Fond memories of Plover for sure. Yeah. Yep.
Best of luck to you and your staff.
Thank you.
Next year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And now we are moving to Futures High School Annual School Report. Mr. Vincente. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Madam President, Superintendent Jason Sample, executive members. How are you guys?
Good.
All right. Good to see everybody. All right. Well, this year, like every year, comes with challenges, but comes with a lot of good things. So I want to start off our presentation with the good things. So this year, some slide. My person clicker. There it is. That's why I moved it. I think I just figured it out. First and foremost, want to recognize that our school has been working diligently about our CKH processes and making sure that we are doing what we need to do to make sure that we become a national showcase school. So this year, again, we were honored to be a national showcase school. Dual enrollment is taking off in a big way in our students wanting to take dual enrollment and advancement courses through ARC, and that program continues to grow over the course of since its implementation over the past 2 years. We've had over 171 students participate in a college course, which gives us an 81% passing rate over the last 2 years. Our students that are taking advantage of this course or of this program are starting to see a lot, realizing what that gives them as students going into a 4-year college, getting a head start while also being able to graduate early, which a lot of high school kids like to do. They like to get out of there as soon as possible. Futures also exited out of ATSI this year due to our high suspension with our Hispanic Latino group, so we were able to get ourselves out of that with alternative placements and things that we worked on as far as the program goes for students to be able to, instead of suspending, we were finding different ways for them to I can't think of the word. Reflect, thank you. Reflect on what happened and being able to kind of come up with alternative means of placement. We're also very proud of our sports programs. A big shout out to Andrew Lincoln, our AD and activities coordinator, over the course of the last couple of years, rebuilding our programs and hiring the right coaches and being able to hold our student athletes accountable to get things done in the classroom as well as in the on the field or court. Excuse me. This year, too, we've been able to hire a new social worker that's been able to provide us a lot of support for our students and staff throughout the days, just with various, just small conversations, but it's been a huge, huge support and for our SEL. Just not, I don't want to call it a program, but just with overall SEL. Also, as you know, we've been able to participate in a stock market challenge that created, that helped us. We were winners. We were successful in that. Successful Tier 3 reading and math intervention, and as well as modernizing our school's brand with Jostens. That's been a lot of fun to be a part of. I really appreciate everything Jostens has done, working with Julia as well and Matt, and being able to kind of work that out with them. So looking forward to where that goes. All right. So learning. So this year, part of our SLP was being able to recognize what our school is in need of and looking at a student lens of where our students are currently and being able to provide with them what is needed. So as a group, before the year started, we were able to identify what our focus would be, and a lot of it came from we need to start at foundations and our Tier 1 supports in the classrooms within speaking and listening standards in all subject classes, not just reading, but also in PE, science, history, all the classes. The goal was to get students to talk about responses in DOK 3 prompts, so we were able to give students the opportunity in classes to talk with themselves, or with their peers, big classroom discussions in hopes that they would start to be able to articulate better in their own responses to questions just by listening to others speak and being able to just give their own opinions. We've done this through our learning cycles and being able to every department meeting that we had, we were able to go back and discuss with the departments and groups. We were really great at getting good feedback, something that was meaningful, something that was that we can take back to the rest of the group and then just learn from it and to continue to keep growing, because that was a big piece that we wanted to see. We didn't want to just do something, forget about it, or do it once, forget about it. It was a continued process that over the course of the year, with our instructional coach, Kiara Brannigan, leading that way, we were able to kind of just continue to keep building, and we saw an 80% of students showed growth in their written responses, and this means that from the first time they were given a prompt, they answered a question. It may not have been as great, but with proper Tier 1 support and that peer-to-peer conversation and class discussions, they were able to give better responses the next time. So this is show you some of our iReady data. I'm sure a lot of you have seen iReady over the course of this last year, I think across all our GCC schools, but what you can notice is that overall our school is improving and we are tilting in the right direction. One of the great things about our school is that we're always looking to find new ways, find different ways to provide students with support, new ways of delivering instruction, new ways of delivering practice with iReady. But over the course of this year, and overall from Diagnostic 1 to currently, we've increased 9% overall. And the great thing is obviously we're tilting in the right direction by removing all our kids who were 3 or more grade levels below, and now we're going in to the yellow and to the green. Same thing with math, exact same thing. We are tilting that scale, going in the right direction where we want to go, improving. Again, this is all just due to our site-wide initiatives of working together to making sure that all our kids are getting what they needed throughout the day, every day. And again, just can't affirm Kiara Brannigan enough for her organization with iReady, with testing, with making sure that all our kids are getting what they need, all our teachers are provided with all the information. It's a huge support, and obviously you can tell. This is just iReady data with our special subgroups. Across the board in ELA and in math, there has been an increase. Without getting too specific, you can again just see that the scale is shifting to the left in our yellow and green, which is the direction that we want to go. Same thing, like I said, with math, same thing. Moving to the left, that's where we want to be. Sorry. So leadership and our building capacity of leadership. One thing that we wanted to make sure that we continue to grow is within our MTSS program. Our monthly meetings have been around Tier 3 support over professional development, how we can continue to keep supporting students and also keep supporting our teachers with the appropriate instruction and support that they would need to give us feedback as a team. As you can see, our department all had something that they were doing over the course of this year. Our lead teachers have been so great at leading their own specific team and departments, and that's due to just us being able to provide them the opportunities to grow and be empowered as leaders. One thing I tell staff is that we want to make sure that we are continuously growing everybody in some capacity, whether it's leadership or just different opportunities so that they can grow. And our department leads have been able to take that on headstrong and have done so fantastic. Even with new ones, like with our AI groups, Mr. Clef, one of our social science teachers, had really taken to the AI initiatives and the different PDs that have been able to provide with Dr. Gold, and even with our students as well. But just different opportunities. What I feel like our organization does very well at is empowering our staff, our employees on being better, doing something new, getting out of comfort zones. And when we're able to provide as much as we can like this gives our staff members that opportunity. So this is just a little data point that I wanted to share. This year we've been able to implement a new intervention, Tier 3 support. We've been able to, this last year, hire a intervention teacher whose primary job was to provide that support. Over the course of the year, it has been ups and downs. We saw good things, we saw bad things, but as a team, again, we continue to keep working on how we to improve that. So what you see here is that we just created a small little group that needed specific intervention, and this is just reading. But our intervention teacher, Ms. Schaefer, had worked so great at learning the new SIPs, working with Kimberly, being able to learn how to use that as an intervention teacher. And with a small group that we've had, we saw just a tremendous increase just in our small group, and that's a 71% showed an increase of one or more grade levels, and with 29% of that group still remaining at grade level. So what we tried and what she was doing, it worked. We want to continue to keep building this, and we'll talk more about what will happen next for futures, but it was again, like I said, we try something new. We wanted to see what we can do with it. It is something that high schools don't typically do, but it was something that we felt like, hey, this is a need. We saw what our kids needed. There was a place for our students that just small little things, 30 minutes out of the day, twice a week. It wasn't enough, but again, this was a pilot, but looking forward into next year, which we will talk about in a second, we will share more about what will happen. So this year, we went a little bit of transition time with our RSP teacher. We had a former RSP teacher who had a new position offered during mid-semester, and we needed to look for a new teacher, and we were able to find somebody virtually, but she's been fantastic in helping us and Ms. Buda just strengthen our RSP practices. I know Ms. Buda has learned a lot over the course of this last semester with our new RSP teacher, but it is so great to hear somebody who has the expertise and is able to give information and let us know let us know where we really were and helped us get to where we wanted to be. And like I said, Ms. Buddha and her partner worked, I'm sure, so many hours and so many emails and late night phone calls on just like, hey, this is our plan, let's attack it, let's get after it. And now we can strongly feel that going into next year that it's going to continue. It's such a great spot now to where we are. Before we were able to have 100% of student attendance and participation in all IEPs, making sure their voices were heard, because sometimes we don't necessarily get them as just parents, but it was such a great to be having them be there. And the other thing too is Catherine Day has been coming to our sites and being able to do transitional goals with our students that are going into, obviously, after high school. But the big thing for them was the, exposure. What's next after high school, and taking these students with IEPs, they're going to graduate to field trips, different colleges, cosmetology school, the Job Corps, so just giving them that exposure. And something else that was really big, we were able to reclassify 16 English learners over the course of this year, and that was due to just the constant conversations with kids. It's like, hey, you're right there. Let's figure out how we can get you to where you need to be. This is all you need. But it was just those one-on-one conversations that we were able to have, that we were able to support them and give them the confidence to be able to get reclassified. Like I mentioned before, our social worker that we were able to hire, Ashley Tkach, who is also our certificated employee of the year, had made a humongous impact on our campus. And without even having to do anything more or extra or really try to put it out there, it just became something that once the students knew she was a resource on campus, and this is for staff as well, it was just utilized all the time. We were able to work together on student issues, staff issues throughout the year, just through her being there on campus. It gave that comfortability, that safety blanket for students to come and talk to. There are many different ways that you can address social-emotional learning. Just different supports and well-beings of our students was it was so great to see because I felt like it was such a need, and with obviously your guys' support on signing off on the position, I want to say that with full confidence that it was such a great move and it was a great addition to the site, and we didn't even know how much we really needed it until we are here now talking about it. We've also had just strong CKH implementation. That's also been just a big part of our well-being as a site. It's an organization, that we continue to keep striving to be one of the best with our implementation of CKH, and it continues to keep something that we're going to always build on. And being able to have somebody like Jeff, one phone call away to bounce ideas off has been a great thing to have, because obviously that guy's a master at what he does, and he's been able to provide so much support for us in what we need. And I appreciate that. I appreciate him, and obviously CKH. Next year, we are rolling out positive behavior intervention system, just like HLA. We are going to be rolling this out year one next year and continue to keep building that in that capacity. A lot of us are new to that whole system, but we know of it. We know what it's going to bring to our site, and this is all going to be coexisting with our social worker and our team with PBIS. So hopefully that continues to keep something that will grow and be successful. This year was our first year implementing biomedical science. It was a great class, and you'll see pictures that you see a fake arm there. I promise that's a fake arm. But our biomedical science has grown over the course of just a few months, where we went from one class to having to do 2 classes. And then next year, I feel like it's going to continue to keep growing in popularity because of the opportunities that biomedical science brings. It was always a conversation that we had with families about, we should have nursing programs, we should have things that involve, real world experience, real world opportunities for our kids, and this class has been able to provide that. Ms. Mostova, who teaches Living Earth, has been able to take this on and has really embraced what this class has. And I foresee her to continue to keep moving on with this program to only strengthen it. Next year, we will be rolling out Biomedical Science 2 to continue the pathway. We do see the success in what that class brings because it is real world. It is something that our students are interested in. They are looking to get into the medical fields in some capacity, and it's been such a great thing. We continue to keep having our engineering classes, and again, this is all part of Project Lead the Way. It's our program that we've been using now for the last couple of years. With engineering, and we're always looking to improve our offerings with honors, AP, something that we're still going to continue to keep pursuing. Obviously, we want our kids to be able to challenge themselves. This is what we want to bring back to our schools, is the hard work and to, challenge, get out of their comfort zone, do something different, try something new, and to really just start pushing to pursue something great. So as you can see, our engagement list here is quite extensive, but the one thing that we do want to continue to keep growing is our extracurriculars. We were able to have a transition of positions from somebody from central office to our site now, Maisha Britt, some of you may know her. But one of her big tasks will be the engagement of our campus and our community. Obviously, we do offer a lot of great things with extracurriculars for our students, but one of the big things is that how we are outreaching to our community, not just parents, but I'm talking like people who are businesses, other groups that are in our area that we want to come to our school so that we build these partnerships, because ultimately, this is the piece where giving our students the exposure of, jobs, of, finding new careers, new opportunities, something that they can volunteer in. Our National Honor Society, our leadership groups, all these student-focused groups that are giving back, we need to have partnerships. We need to have that. And I'm really looking forward to see where this goes with her. The one thing I do want to emphasize, though, is that our attendance rate has increased over the last couple of years, and it has increased also as our enrollment has increased. So as you can see in the chart there, you see the top row would be P1, the bottom row is P2, but we've continued to keep increasing our attendance, and we did have a problem with kids, cutting class, not being on campus, or excuse me, they are on campus, but they are cutting class, being gone for 30 minutes at a time, longer, but we've been able to establish a good program with our Saturday schools and Friday detention so that just because you cut class doesn't mean you don't get to make it up at a different time. But it's been great. Families have been behind it, parents have been behind it, and we've been able to slowly rebuild our attendance rates with that. Parents or partners, again, we do continue to keep working with our site council and our parent engagement. PFO, Anita Turley, what a great human being she is, and everything she does for RDP. I wish there were a lot more things that we can do for her so that she can continue to keep getting recognition, but also giving back to our site as RDP between us and HLA. But we just got to find something for her to do, good, because she's always wanting to do something. So I appreciate her and everything that she does, and the whole parent-faculty organization. So what's next? Well, as you know, we are entering our charter renewal year, and I just want to thank Matt Taylor for his support and him helping us get to where we need to be in so that we're ready for when we have to go in front of Twin Rivers. PBIS, rolling that out next year. Biomedical Science, jumping into year 2. Expanding our intervention time. So like I was saying before, next year, instead of having 2 30-minute blocks throughout the week, we are going to be implementing that into our master schedule. So now we will be able to identify students who are in need of reading and math and giving them an hour every day of intervention. So we're really looking forward to where that takes us, because I feel like that's going to be a huge jump for our school and for the students, and hopefully we see a ton of growth. If we saw growth in just 2 30-minute blocks per week, I can only imagine what a full schedule or full 5 days, 4 days, hours at a time, and see what that does. One thing that we are adding that we're getting a lot of excitement about is our flag football. If you're not familiar with this, high school has adopted a girls flag football programs across the nation, and this is something that our students are really excited about, and so we're really going to see where this goes. We are going to increase AP offerings by adding world history. We realize that we need to get our kids jumping into these advanced classes early as opposed to later when they're juniors, seniors, so AP will be offered to our sophomore groups next year. And then lastly, it's our rebrand and marketing. So working with Jocelyn. So one thing that I can appreciate about our transitions with the new superintendent and the different things that we're doing is obviously we're always looking to see how we can make our school sites better in some capacity. And one of the ways was working with Jocelyn's. So this is just some samples of things that Futures has been working on as far as a rebrand goes, but as you can see, we continue to keep having the same colors, Knights, Futures, but what you'll see is you'll see a small slogan that says Battle as One. This was created by a small focus group with parents, students, staff members, and it was something that we really resonated with because as a site, we want to say that we're a team, we want to say that we're a family, but we also say that we got to do whatever we do it together. And so when we do something, that we battle as one, whether it's in the classroom, it's on the field, it's in the community, whatever it is that everybody's going through, if somebody's going through it, we're all going through it. So battle as one, that was something that, again, that we were all resonated with, and really looking forward to hopefully continue to keep pursuing this and change up some of our just marketing and rebrand of our school to give us just another opportunity to level up and to uplift our site. So. Before I finish, I do want to just say a couple more things. In our limited time with our students at the high school level, we were very focused on what the Portrait of a Graduate was. The Portrait of a Graduate was something that we really embraced, and we were looking forward to building that as an organization. At Future, we were able to meet students where they were and address their individual needs, and it's crucial for us as a school and organization to continue to keep empowering our students and our staff. Futures is not afraid. We're not afraid to approach and fully commit to something different. We like change. We like to change things up to make things better. One of the big things that we will always strive to do is we will always level up. We'll level up tomorrow. We'll level up in 5 years, but there's always going to be room for improvement. We must remember that it's not a competition, but a collective mission to ensure that every student reaches their full potential and achieves the goals outlined by the Portrait of a Graduate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful report, and we're going to ask board members for comments and whatever. Yes, Mr.
Great report, Vicente. How many students do you believe have taken advantage of the social worker position that we have now?
Well, I can tell you that it's been a number. So confidentiality is huge with this. I know of a majority of our students. I don't know the total number, but I do know that it is something that was destigmatized over the course of this last year. It was something that our school necessarily didn't really have in the beginning, but over the course of the year, the opportunity, the resource that was there just for somebody to talk to, it was done with confidentiality. Not everybody knew who was going to go see her, but I can tell you that it's been a program that has been well used. It is something that continues to keep being used, and it is such a great thing, and we have a great person behind it. And so, number-wise,
I just want, basically, it's working well, as you've mentioned.
100%, yeah.
And students are getting a lot out of it.
Yep.
I'm assuming are parents engaged as well in some capacity?
Yeah, parents do get involved when they need to, obviously, especially when it becomes more, they do it often. You know, we want to be able to create that, just say, hey, you know, we are meeting with your son or daughter. I want to make sure you're okay with it. And a lot of times, sometimes kids just want to come in and just complain about, you know, maybe me as a principal or a teacher or, you know, or whatever, or their friend Johnny, you know, I don't know. But she's always there. And, you know, and when she's not there, kids kind of start looking for her. They're running around all over campus. Where is she?
Well, I appreciate the fact that not only have you put that position in place, but that you're open to doing new things and to address the bigger population of students that we have. I was also wanted to compliment you on the PDs that you're doing with staff. I think that's really important to grow those folks and get them doing things different or thinking differently, and providing professional development definitely helps with that. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And Director Anderson, what we can also do via Friday letter is we'll work with Mr. Lovano and get you just kind of a summary, anecdotally, of those numbers. So I think we can do that.
Mr. Block?
Yes, since you now going into girls flag football, what about golf?
Golf is still there. We still have golf.
No, the girls.
The girls? That's still continue to keep. We do have, golf is technically this year was co-ed. We are working on trying to build that program. Girls golf is in the spring, so if we do girls golf, it sounds like we have to do regular football.
Well, you know I'm not talking about golf, you know, because that's my.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Anyone else? You had mentioned coexisting with HLA. I think you alluded to it. Tell me, what do you see next year with you and HLA? How are you going to continue to coexist and build on what you started?
Well, I mean, coexist is you know, one thing that I don't want to, it sounds bad, you know what I mean, in the sense of like, you know, we're there, we have to be there. But one thing that we continue to keep doing is we're always looking out for each other. You know, we always have each other's back. The administration team is always looking for each other. We're always asking questions. One thing that we're going to continue to keep doing for us as a high school is to making sure that our HLA, especially middle school, you know, that they see our faces a lot more. We want to continue to keep using our staff members to hopefully collaborate in some other capacity, whether it's small projects, big projects, things that, you know, HLA's after-school program, Megan, she continues to keep bridging our schools together with our community group, or our community events. So there's always going to be those opportunities. But I can tell you that our site is a fantastic place to be because we have great teams on both ends. Even though we do separate ourselves with colors and mascots, you know, as a site, we have each other's back and we're always going to be there for each other. And so coexisting, you know, you don't coexist if you're already well, you know, taken care of by each other. So,
Great.
yeah.
And I think that's what I really wanted to hear you say, that you were doing things because you really want to do things together, not because somebody said you should.
Right. Yeah, that's not like that with us.
That's great to hear. You mentioned a start, and I wrote, will you continue? I'm not sure if it was with suspension or something. Do you remember?
It was the pilot for intervention, or was it?
Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah, so we did have, like I said, we started with a pilot, small group of students. You're talking 2 30-minute sessions per week,
Right,
you know, per
yeah.
student. So next year, we are fully implementing that within our master schedule. So our students now, we will identify the needs, and we'll figure that part out over, you know, the course of the next couple of weeks. But we will be implementing that fully, you know, Monday through Thursday, Friday, shorter day, but Monday through Thursday, 1 hour's worth of intervention all year long.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. That was part of your question. You know, it's every once in a while age kind of gets up here and we kind of forget what we want to say. I write it down and still forget. But thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I need to see your staff now, those that are here with you. Would you please stand so we can thank you? Thank you so much. We appreciate all your work, all your efforts, everything that you're doing for those students at Futures High School.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see where we are with those wonderful reports. Review information. GCC IRS 990 review.
So, Madam President and members of the board, this is our annual requirement just to ensure that the board has seen our IRS 990 tax forms that are prepared by our CPA firm, Gilbert and Associates. You will see the drafts. This also, during the years of COVID, we had a little bit of relaxation in that requirement, and so you'll see the previous years that we just thought as a best practice for transparency that we also brought those to you. Also, but from here point out, you'll see these annually. No action is necessary.
Yeah.
This is just an informational item to the board.
Great.
If you have questions, our CBO can answer
Great.
those.
We did get the information in our backup. Do you have questions? It was pretty extensive reading. So, anything you want to tell us? No? Okay. Well, thank you. It's not an action item. It's just that we did get the report, and we all read through it, for sure. Anything else, Superintendent, on that item? Okay. All right. We are now down to consent agenda items. I need my book here. And for the purpose of our audience, our consent agenda items: adoption of the GCC board meeting minutes 5/7/24, personnel consent agenda, purchases over $30,000. And those are the consent agenda items. All right. I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Second. Okay. Roll call, Mr. Anderson.
Well, of course,
Oh, you had a question?
yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at this furniture that we, I got my board thing there. This furniture that we are buying for COA, that's $600,000 worth,
Yes, so
displaying that.
thank you, Director Block. As you remember, we are opening what we now call Dudley C, the new CalFit building. And to ensure that we furnish that, that is why the order is so large, is due to moving new classroom and expanding enrollment at
New
that facility.
facility.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Harry Block,
Yes.
Bruce Mandrick,
Yes.
Lily Campbell, yes. Jack Turner absent tonight. So the consent agenda items have been approved unanimously. All right. We are now down to facilities. Gateway International Facility Expansion Project. Mr.
Yes, thank you, Madam President and Board. This item, if you remember, at our May 7th board meeting, Executive Director Elliott gave a presentation in terms of the work that we are looking to do at Gateway International School. And so this item is bringing that budget and agreement forward to the board for approval. Should you have questions, Mr. Elliott is here to answer. Otherwise, this is the action for the item that you saw at the last board meeting.
And you received information again in your packet. So if you have questions now before we entertain a motion, I will entertain questions to Mr. Elliott or to the superintendent. Seeing no questions, hearing no questions, I will now entertain a motion to approve the Gateway International Facility Expansion Project. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So move. Did I get a
Second.
second? Thank you. It has been moved in second. Roll call. Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Block, Harry
Yes.
Block? Mr. Bruce Mandrake?
Yes.
Lily Campbell, yes. All right, that item has been approved unanimously for board members who are present. And so, with that, we are moving into board comments before we move to closed session. Board comments. Any board comments? Yes, Mr. Block?
Y'all gotta quit, y'all gotta get me out from under this air conditioner, I'm getting stuffed up. Yes, I just wanna say, I attend a few places over the past, and it's been great visiting different school sites and going to different things, and I like to thank everyone for being at the gala that we had for the end of the year. It was a great time out there, we enjoyed it, I got to talk to, I never seen so many new people before. I said, I don't know half of these people that I thought I'd been around all this time, but there's a lot of new people there, so it was great to be there, so thank you.
Yes.
I want to ditto, the gala was great. I love the cheers that we had in the crowd and our, thank you, Ms. Summer, for doing your part as well. It was a lot of fun. And it's always interesting to see how many folks we actually have as part of the Gateway organization. So thank you, Mr. Sample, for putting it on as well, and Melissa for organizing it. Thank you.
And again, we want to wish we had an opportunity to celebrate her birthday at the opening, which she did not want, but we did it anyway. So again, hope you did enjoy the day with your birthday celebration. And accolades to Dr. Gold for the Saturday Family Innovative Fair Festival. It was very well attended, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I think it was seeing so many families there, almost 1,000. Yes, it was great. And we do have a lot of things coming up soon, my friends, with the graduations and the promotions and what have you. I think Friday is the Festival COA, right? Yeah, I believe so. I think I'm signed up for that. So thank you again to all of you for being here with us, for coming tonight, for sharing your school's programs and the wonderful things that all you're doing. We really, truly appreciate it. It makes us know that what we're doing makes it worthwhile because of what's happening at your schools. So thank you. So with that, we are now getting ready to move into closed session. And the closed session items are number 1, pursuing to paragraph 3 of subdivision, we have litigation, government code, Santos versus Gateway Community Charter, Sacramento County Superior Court. And then we have a closed session conference regarding real estate negotiations pursuing to government code 54956.8. And then we have number 3 item, closed session, employee performance evaluation of the superintendent, Government Code Section 54957. So those are the items that we will be discussing in closed sessions, and we will come back to report out after we finish. So with that, board members, thank you again, those who are here and those who will be staying. We will see you later at closed session. be serious.
We have a song. We didn't get the memo.
Well, we are back from closed session, and I do have to report out on Santos versus GCC. The board took action, vote of 4-0. 0 no, abstain 1, that we authorize the superintendent to settle the legal case as outlined by legal counsel. So that was the first action. The second action, the board authorized the superintendent's staff to submit a letter of intent regarding 2950 Ramco Street, West Sacramento, California. And the third, the board received and discussed the superintendent's annual goals and evaluation. The board president will meet with the superintendent to discuss the outcome of your evaluation. And that is the result of our closed session. And so, board members, anything else for the good of the organization? Hearing none, seeing none, I will entertain a motion for adjournment then.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor of adjourning the meeting for tonight? Voting sign of aye.
Aye.
Oppose? None. Meetings adjourned. Thank you.